Okay, this is part 2. So I move out of the sun on the deck to the porch. So anyway, I think what we were talking about is the people that you may have to leave behind while you're, on your journey. And I'm not fully understanding that because I'm still in the midst of that transition myself. It's like my life partner and I, like I said, we went through 9 months where he said I needed to heal. And because it wasn't just because he said it, it was me coming online with my own desires and my own timeline. I've been working on myself for like 3 straight years, 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, because I got here in 2016 and met Tribe, and then that just deep healing started taking place. And so when I met him 2 years later, it's like his words were like the perfect puzzle coming together with my spirit that was ready to heal. I mean, it was just perfect divine timing. And it's so funny because I try to explain to him that my activating had nothing to do with his outside appearance or how he presented on paper. And both were like, I would give him like a 10. I know I'm biased. However, he's just very attractive, looks good on paper. So it was a 10. And so basically, however, it was none of that. It was those very few moments that in the spirit realm is all that I could say. I could look like right here in him and see this spot. And that spot just, every time I saw it, it was like nurturing. It was nurturing. And it was like I was seeing through him into him, which now I know was just a reflection of myself. It was a reflection. I was reflecting myself on him, and it was showing that yes, it's so tiny. That nurturing piece is so tiny. However, it's there, Storm. Keep coming. And so for those 9 months, that's what I was looking at, was that spot right there that I saw in him, which now I understand was a reflection of me. I was reflecting myself onto him so that I can go ahead and do the healing that I needed to heal. And so at that point, it's like, where does a person belong in your life during your healing? And I'm just not sure. I just know that as you can talk and as you're available to talk, then just keep having those conversations, and Spirit will help you and guide you, and you'll be okay whether you're supposed to stay with that person or not, or you just need to go on a sabbatical, or you need to release that person from agreements that you've made with them, like whatever. I mean, you have to decide for yourself. I also have my certificate from my bachelor's of psychology as a life coach, where I can talk to couples. So I'm available for couples, families, mothers with their kids, fathers with their kids, shared custody, different things like that. And I'll help assist you navigate this transition as a life coach, as a spiritual coach. Also, if you, like I said before, if you are seeing mental health licensed social worker or licensed mental health counselor or anything like that, we all have to be on board with each other. I can come on board with you all as your spiritual life coach and help out with the sessions and translate what they're saying for the world into your spiritual realm. However, let's just work hand to hand until you get to the point that you're strong enough to make decisions for yourself. And by strong enough, I don't mean that you're weak. It's like when you are ready to be born, you're not coming out a full-grown person. You're coming out of yourself as a baby. And so just like when a physical baby comes out, the physical baby doesn't just pop out and say, I'm good, mom and dad, I'm gone, and it goes off and jumps in the car and goes and starts its own life. So that's not your journey either. Now, we're not talking about me. You could be like some dogs and cats or whatever, as soon as they're born, a year from now, they're grown and have their own families and they're gone. So we're not talking time. We're just talking the availability that you have in understanding yourself and feeling comfortable walking your own path, feeling comfortable more and more to where you have to check less and less with those people that you have around you that are helping you through your journey, because you hear your voice and you're just like moving, you know what I'm saying? Like you're doing a nice, smooth dance, you know? And so when life is coming at you, you're like, okay, oh, whoa, okay, all right, okay. You know, and the frustration and all that stuff lessens because you understand you're on your path, and whatever's on your path is for you. And it may be good stuff, bad stuff, happy stuff, mad stuff, glad stuff. It's like stop path hopping. That's not gonna work. And that's what is being done now. You know, like people are just jumping, you know, jumping. There's no path but your path. And once you find your path, stay on your path and walk yourself through. Remember, you've done different things in your life to make these different choices for your life and choices for yourself. You've decided who you want to be, what you want to be, who you want to be with, and different things like that. And at that point where you see some of your choices and things like that no longer add up or make sense, that's what just being grown means. It means that you go to the person, place, thing, or whatever, and you say, you know what? This no longer suits me for my purpose or my path. So what's the best way to handle it so it works for both of our good? And something working for both of your good doesn't mean that both of you all aren't going to walk away crying. You may. It's hurtful to leave people, places, and things. It hurts when you place down boundaries because you understand love, and love means boundaries. And when you're dealing with people who aren't at that place, or that's not their belief right now, then they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be sad. They're gonna be angry. People are gonna talk about you. People are gonna not want to be around you. You may spend significant time by yourself. I mean, if you go look in any of the literature that speaks on spirituality, it's just times where people are just by themselves and they feel forsaken, they feel alone, they feel why, that kind of stuff. None of that stuff should stop you from doing what you're doing, you know? And so for me, what I see happening and what I'm here for, like I said again, is like if I were to tell you that somebody was chasing you in the physical realm, it's like, hey, I got this friend, and you know, every time they just feel like somebody's just chasing them and hounding them. They don't know what it is. The first thing you're gonna do is like, did they call the police? Do they know who it is? Did they stand up to it? Did they ask? Did they do anything? However, in our lives, it's like people aren't doing that. When they feel like someone says run over here, guess what? They go run over here. Then when they say, oh, well, this cause, go run over here. No, go run over here. No, go run over here. I'm just like, let me just ask you this question. So, if you believe in what's going on in the world, and you were told to stay inside because of it, how X amount months later, you agree to be out in the street with thousands of other people? Where did the first belief you had that told you to stay in the house, that told you to buy up all the toilet paper, that told you to buy up all the groceries and stuff, that told you to do all of that stuff, where was that first thing at? It was replaced by a second thing that told you to be outside. Then it's replaced by a third thing that says, oh, now you can come out safely. Then as soon as you come out, it's replaced by a fourth thing that says, uh-oh, wait a minute, you can come out, however, and safely, however, that doesn't work either. And then on top of all that, what about the elections? You can come out or stay in or absentee or what? You know what I'm saying? It's just like you would be running around just chasing your tail, just running everywhere. It's like things in the world are gonna take place, and that's what's more important. So I'm open to discussion if you want to discuss the actual events of the world going on. However, I'm only using that so that you can see with yourself how you're being pulled here, 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 here. And it's like, why? That's my question. My question is, why? Why? Why are you being pulled? Why are you being chased? Why is it like, oh, well, something, even with the people who are saying the Palladians and the lizards and all these other different kind of things, even, and I like the Matrix. So it's like, what I'm saying, when I look at the Matrix, or when I look at Star Trek or any of those things, what I use those things for is just a reminder that something else is going on, to have anything that's created that's saying that you're like the Matrix, or there's something out there in space. So when I think of those things, it releases me. It helps me release myself from this physical body, so I can start pulling back the layers and asking my own self why. Like, why? So I followed and listened to those things. However, what gets me every time is, if I can't prove something to myself, I'm not following it. So I've gone on these different spiritual experiences that started out with Christianity, that started out with me no longer being Christian, calling myself Christian, however, still being a Christian, and then dropping all labels and stuff. And then from there, I'm in the life that I'm in now, where I'm just spiritual. And yes, I have the Reiki Master certification, just like I have a bachelor's in psychology, specialized in life coach. I still have to function in this world, and people in this world need that paper. So that paper is saying one thing to the world. However, I've had this gift. I've always been like this. I've just put it away or didn't do it because when I did act and talk certain ways, then I was shunned or punished or rejected or whatever. And I learned as I was growing up to just not talk this way, just not say this way, And then as I started healing and things like that, I started gravitating and meeting people and being on the frequency of people who were like me, not like me like this, like my exact, layered template over and we're the same. It's saying that they have their own spiritual experiences and understanding that something else is going on. And that's all that needs to be done. Once you understand something else is going on, you're ready to start your own path. And reaching out so far, like Sirius B, lizards under the ground, Earth Mother, 40 million years, 60, it's impossible to know that stuff. I would need to have proof. You can't. So it's like I can only prove myself. When I go look in the mirror, what I identify as myself, that's what I can prove. When I clap my hands, it's my hands. When I look into this camera, I'm looking at myself. That's what I can prove. Hang on to that first. Work with that first. Get that first. It's backwards going so far out. Get that first. Get yourself first. Understand yourself first. Understand your voice first. What you think, what you feel, what you believe, what you know. And go through those parts of where you make a poor decision, but you find out is poor later. Own that and heal that. Like, why did I make that poor decision? What was I hoping to get from that? What did I need to prove to myself that I made that decision, which I now feel is poor? So get that experience and understand it, forgive yourself, grow and learn from it. And remember, you're on a journey. So that's why I'm leaning towards not saying lesson, because lesson implies that either you didn't know something or you had to have like something bad happen so that you can understand something good. And I'm not of that mentality anymore. My whole thing is my spirit is talking to me every day. It's like, hey, Storm, what's up? We're going this direction today. And then me, with all my physical experience, I'm like, Storm, Spirit, I think we should go to the left today. And Spirit's like, okay, cool, let's go to the left. And I go to the left, and all these different things happen. I'm just like, whoa, what would happen if I would have listened to my first mind, my first frequency, and went right? So then I forgive myself, acknowledge myself, turn around and go to the right. And now I'm like, this is better. Like, even when I walk in different places now, I've gotten to the point where I can feel certain energies on and I'll walk on a certain side of the street or different things like that, and it's just like you're just shifting and moving that way. I've had plenty of experiences with my spirit telling me to do different things or go different places, and then I'll meet a certain person and that'll lead to something, lead to something, lead to something. You know what I'm saying? I think, it's like it's the unknown. However, what if the secret to everything is within you? And that's the one place you'll never go. Anything that's, say for instance, something's trying to get me. It's one or two reasons why something's trying to get me. Either it wants what I have, or that's just what that thing is that's trying to get me, and it actually has power over me to get me. Neither one of those work. Because if something has power over me to get me, then guess what? Nothing matters, because something's stronger than me and can come take me out at any second. So my life has no purpose. So that doesn't make no sense. And then the second thing, me running from something that is chasing after me because it wants something I have. Something greater than you never wants something lesser. So if it's greater and you're lesser, it's not coming down to get you. For what? What could you possibly have that anything wants? So that would basically, in terms of physical, that would basically mean that a multimillionaire comes to you, which you're not we're guessing you're not saying you're not a multimillionaire in this story, and you're making just your basic $50,000 a year, which is nothing wrong with it. You own your house, your car, you got 2 kids, a wife or husband or whatever, and you're living a nice life with your partner, your life partner, whatever, your fur baby or your human baby or whatever. And so here comes this multimillionaire pulling up in a Bentley, coming to get you and basically take over your $50,000 life. It wants to move into your house. It wants to take your kids. It wants to do all that. Now, come on. That doesn't make no sense, does it? So that's what I'm saying in the spiritual realm. It's like, for just go out and listen to anybody. They're always talking about they are trying to get us. They are trying to do something to us. They are trying to stop you from being something or doing something. They are trying. Listen, for as long as we can prove that the world was here, which is only a couple hundred years, when we're talking about paper and stuff like that, we're not talking about the carbon dating and stuff like that, because when you look at the carbon dating and different things like that, I'm just asking the question, are those the same people who basically are making the different medications and stuff like that they have for people? Are we really trusting people like that? Okay, I pulled out, I went and dug somewhere and pulled out this fossil, and the carbon date on it, or the shells around it that have turned from seashells into dirt or sand or whatever it turns into, and this is the carbon dating system. So I can't prove that, and I'm not going to trust. If I don't trust myself first, I'm not trusting all of that. So basically, if we're just going back off of paperwork or different things like that, then we can go some years back off paperwork. So let's just say, even if we can't go some years back, my parents are in their 70s. So my parents are still existing. So let's just go back that far. So it's something that I can prove, which is my parents. If something had been chasing me for 80 years, because they're about to turn 80, why would I be running from something for 80 years? Why? I don't care what I call it. I don't care if I call it, I saw a saucer in the sky, or or a Sirius B planet, I saw it, or someone in some kind of meditation told me that they went there and they came back with a message. I don't care. All I care about is I'm not running anywhere for 80 years. It just doesn't make no sense. So that's what this whole video is about. Start thinking about the things that you're living and guiding your life by, and ask, does it make sense? Why would something that is supposed to be so powerful that it comes from Sirius B, or the reptiles that have supposedly a whole city up under the ground, why would they be coming for you? They already have everything they need. Some intelligence that built a whole city under the world is way more intelligent than you are at this moment. So why would it be coming for you? What would it need from you? What? I know, I mean, it's all kind of theories and stuff going out there, and I understand, and I'm not proving or disproving anyone's theory. I'm just asking for you to look at yourself first, because what I have seen is that every time you catch up to wherever that thing is, it moves, it shifts. Someone keeps on moving the goal line. Someone keeps on moving the end thing. Someone keeps on moving it. And it's like, if someone keeps on moving it, why? Why do they want you to always be in this state of where you can't take time for yourself, where you can't understand yourself, where you can't hear yourself? Or even the best one is where you don't trust yourself, where you have to have all these spiritual people over you because you can't read your book yourself. You can't understand yourself. You know, the only times that I really can't understand myself is when it's really close to home, when it's dealing with my family or my close friend or my life partner, my children or my grandchildren. That's when I need to call in my elders and I need to talk to them about it, because I'm still in the point where I understand boundaries, and I understand the boundaries mean I love. At the same time, I still have residuals of how I was codependent, or how in these relationships that didn't really work, that caused me to sacrifice my whole self and not love myself. And I wasn't understanding what true love and relationship means, that someone who loves themselves would never ask you to sacrifice yourself beyond yourself. They wouldn't do for you and you wouldn't do for them, and that doesn't start a fight or a breakup or you all don't care for each other. That only shows that you do, because no one who loves themselves and understands themselves would be mad at you for drawing a boundary. And they won't be mad, you won't be mad at them, they won't be mad at you. That's your family, your friends, your job, anything. And anything that does do that, that says they need something that's beyond your boundary, is in no understanding of themselves, or they're not functioning in the understanding of themselves, to think that they have to reach in to get something from you to be anything. Because everything that you are and need is within yourself. And when you have teachers who teach you for a while and then they keep you staying there, that's why I stopped being a personal trainer a long time ago, because it's like, wait a minute, it's something else going on. I'm not selling these packages just to tell you you need a $1,500 package. That was way back in the day. I'm not talking about now. I don't know what the life is now. I'm not in it. So it's like, they would have us scamming people at this one boutique, you know, like telling you stuff. I mean, 2 to 10 pounds is water weight. So all I got to do is, while you're inside your package, flip that information and make it seem like those 2 to 10 pounds is weight loss. And then as you get closer to needing a new package, I start putting those 2 to 10 pounds and saying, oh man, okay, well, what are you doing? You're not eating, because, I mean, these pounds are coming back. It's water. So then I sell you another $1,500. Then I say, well, instead of doing $1,500, if you do a $3,000 package, then you can have 40 sessions. You know, so it's like, all of that, it's like when you have spiritual leaders or people over you, or anybody with a title that you value, and they start doing that to you, they need something from you that's more than you can give. and you place a boundary down, say, hey, I'm just not sure about that. I'm not sure that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Something doesn't feel right, and they get mad. Then you know. A person getting mad at you is when you know. A person getting upset because you place a boundary, that's going to happen. However, a person staying upset and not understanding, then they just need to work on themselves, and that activated their journey by you putting down a boundary. So what you really need is inside yourself. It's only inside yourself. Nothing is chasing you unless it's chasing you to yourself. Nothing wants you because something greater than you doesn't want you. So you must be greater than all of it, greater than Sirius, greater than the reptilians, greater than anything that anybody is saying is trying to come to you, greater than anything that's trying to take you, because nothing would take you if it already, something greater means it already has what you have and then some. So why is it coming back to get you? And if anything could just come in and eat us or grab us or steal our souls and steal our organs and steal our kids and steal all this and do all that, if it could do it, why would it do it on a small scale? It's over 8 billion people on the planet. Why would it just come in and take one here, one here, one here? Why? What are you hiding from? You're strong. Even if you are stronger than me. So that means you can come into my house and take my 5 grandkids, and I couldn't do nothing about it because you're stronger than me. Even if I fought you, you would just kill me and take my 5 grandkids. So it just doesn't make any sense that something is saying that it's sneaking in and grabbing one kid or grabbing one person or doing this or doing that on the low. It doesn't. If I'm greater than you, I'm not doing nothing on the low. I'm coming in lining all you all up and taking all of your stuff, and I'm going to be off to the next planet or the next place. It just doesn't make no sense. And that's all I'm trying to get you to see. Before you go with all these theories, the theories are just thrown out as distractions. Just think about it. You know, you can do that with the animal, whatever. They're hunting for something, your puppy in the yard, and then you throw the ball over there, it goes running over there. You throw it over there, it goes running over there. But all along it was trying to track down this little lizard, and you distracted and went running over there. I mean, that's all that's happening to each of us. Something keeps throwing something out, and we keep chasing it and following it instead of saying, wait, have the courage to turn around and look at what's chasing you or what's following you and saying, look, I'm not available to be chased or followed. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm on my own path and my own purpose. State your purpose or get off my path and stop bothering me and don't come back again. Simple. Just do that. However, instead of doing that, we keep turning and running around and chasing our tails or running over the cliff like lemons or following here and there, and then we fight each other because we're not doing what the other person is doing. I'm not doing what you're doing because I'm on my path, and me being on my path 100% never bothers you unless I've entered in some kind of agreement with you. And then if you notice me changing, then just speak it and say, hey, look, you entered into this agreement with me to be on this path. I see something different. What's going on? I'm going to say I'm on a different path now. I can no longer go by what we agreed. I should have said that in the first place. However, I didn't. You notice, you say it, get on your path and be on your way. And it's a path to yourself, and nothing can ever go wrong when you're on a path to yourself. Those are all your experiences. Those are all your experiences. So I'm getting ready to close and get off. I just want everyone to see themselves. I want everyone in this time when the veil is thin and you can access yourself easier to go ahead and start that journey. And I want to be here as a support for you as you go on your journey. Yes, I do tarot cards. Yes, I do the pendulum. Yes, I do Reiki with and without touch. Yes, I do distance Reiki. Yes, I do retreats. Yes, you can come to the wellness center and stay for a couple of days, 3 or 4 days or whatever. Social distancing or whatever. We follow the law. We're not worried about the law and spirituality. I'm not doing anything to my spirit by following the law or by just being a good human neighbor. You know, if a mask works, it works. If that's what the law says, the law says. I'm not losing anything or touching anything spiritually by doing that. So anyway, whatever kind of way that you need support, and I will get that text number for you so that you always have access to people who can support you if you're in the midst of trauma and things like that. Like I said, heal yourself with a mental health professional and all that first. Have them sign off before you start your spiritual journey. Anything that's right for you can stand up in the light. And so I'm not in the dark about anything. I am open. I understand the importance of working with your doctors and your mental health professionals and different things like that while you're on a spiritual journey. They can exist together as you grow and learn. And then your own self will take over and you'll know exactly what to do and how to do the things. The fruit will start to show, because whatever you were doing that got you to a doctor or a mental health professional, those things are things that as a society and working in society, certain things can exist together. And so at that point that you're healing yourself, you're just saying, hey, I'm existing in a way that's productive for myself and not interfering with society in that way. Because there are plenty of ways that you could be off the grid, not interfering with society, having a beautiful, wonderful spiritual life, even while you're in the midst of the so-called matrix. It doesn't require you to tear down other people, places, and things. It requires you to tear down the self that you made when you were unaware of yourself, and to heal yourself and grow yourself into your true self. Your true self. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get off. Like I said, it's been wonderful being outside. Thank you all for journeying with me from the deck all the way to the front porch on the swing. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with my day. I got a couple of things that I need to do. I love running errands on Saturday. It gives me, that's my time for myself. I do my recording. That's another thing. It's like I used to journal, write it down. I love journaling and the colored pens, and then I switched from that. I got a laptop and I love doing it on my laptop, and then I switched to that to I'll just click my recorder on my phone and I'll just talk. And it just helps to get all that stuff out, because what happens then later when I'm functioning during the day and I start to go in ways that I no longer agree with, I'll remember that I talked about that stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not my path. And that's all it is. Saying something that's not my path isn't saying someone else is right or wrong or whatever. I simply desire to exist 100% as myself, as my own truth. I desire for my own voice, my own intuition to be my act. I know 100% I am my own guide. I know that. And so at that point, I'm growing in being that. I'm not kicking myself for being in the 6th grade when there's 12 grades, plus college, plus your master's, plus your PhD. I'm not beating myself up for that. However, I'm not interested in being a baby before you in pre-K